One of these things is that we are strong people. We didn't even need sunscreen. We just laid out on giant sheets of aluminum foil with baby oil and iodine, Hawaiian Tropic Red Label. We put our chairs up on the roof to get higher to the sun. And we only turned over when the radio station told us to. Right? We grew up in the way back seat of our mom's station wagon, just rear-facing at the people behind us, just waving back there. Just waving. In Homewood Hills, our mom's station wagons were just aircraft carriers, just driving around there, launching kids left and right throughout the neighborhood. We had 12 kids in our carpool. 12 kids, 5 families, the Tillmans, the Barbers, the Kemps, and the Fowlers and us, 5 families. Nobody wore a seatbelt. Not even in the front seat. If your mom's arm wasn't strong enough, you deserved to go through the windshield. Nobody cared. Back then, we didn't have helicopter parents. In fact, we had the opposite of helicopter parents, right? We did. We had Home Depot parents, where you think there should be someone working in the store that could help you, but there's no one around. You're on your own. This is Home Depot. Do you need a skill saw? There's only one left in the whole store, and it's way up there. So just grab yourself one of those rolling staircases, my friend, and crawl up there and get it yourself. But don't pull it over and cut your arm off, because no one will take you to the hospital. Here's what you get. Suck it up. Blow on it. Walk it off. Rub some dirt on it. Bleed over the sink. My mom's favorite was don't bleed on the shag carpet. And how about this one? Let the dog lick it, it'll heal faster. It's true. Nobody cared if we were bored. Nobody cared what our grades were. Nobody cared that we were eating lunch out of a lunchbox that was filled with unrefrigerated dairy products and rust. Who had a rusty lunchbox? Never going out of business. Nobody cared that we were being pummeled in the face by real red rubber dodgeballs. The real red rubber, not the little foamy baby ones they have now. Coach Mike's PE class. Right? You could smell the rubber coming at you. And it just went twang when it hit you in the face. And then you had a crosshatch print right on your forehead, right there. No one cared. Nobody cared about the trauma of sea monkeys. Who had sea monkeys? I'm still not over sea monkeys. I'm not over it. I paid my $1.25 out of the back of the comic book. I was supposed to get the whole sea monkey family. The mama sea monkey and the daddy sea monkey and the baby sea monkey and junior sea monkey. They had tails. They lived in a castle. And they were supposed to come live with me and I could teach them tricks. That's not what we got. That is not what I got in my mailbox at 192 Pendleton Drive. No, I got 3 envelopes filled with disappointment, deceit, and dehydrated brine shrimp. Just a fishbowl full of bugs. It was awful. Nobody cared that that woman on Romper Room never said my name. She never said my name. And I watched it all the time. I finally stopped and I started watching Officer Dawn instead. And the ooey gooey bag. It was much more fun. Nobody cared that we were being hurt on metal roller skates. The kind that clamped on your shoe, kind of like that, right? You did get hurt because you went fast, because you could not go fast because the metal on the concrete kind of went like this. So this was as fast as you could go, but about the third, your foot came up out of that clamp, right? But the metal skate was still attached to your ankle with a little belt. So the skate would ram you right in the shin and then knock you down. No one cared. No one cared that Lady Elaine Fairchild sounded a whole lot like Mr. Rogers. Right? Just, you know, he just used a high lady voice. It was very confusing. Or that she looked like she'd been throwing back a whole lot of Beefeater gin martinis. It's true. Where do you think she came up with boomerang, toomerang, seamerang? She was day drinking behind the museum go round. No one cared. No one cared. Nobody cared that we were scared to death of Gene Wilder as Willy Wonka. He was scary as he sang that insane song while the Oompa Loompas rowed the boat faster and faster and faster down the Chocolate River into that tunnel where we saw a chicken getting its head chopped off, crawling over some lady's face. And then at the end of the movie, Willy Wonka screams at poor Charlie Bucket in Latin, trying to get out of a contract through a legal loophole. A contract which, by the way, was not binding to begin with, because you can't enter a contract with a minor. But I didn't know that then yet because I had gone to law school because I was 8. All I knew was that Gene Wilder as Willy Wonka was very, very scary. Even just going to the movies back then was very different, right? We went by ourselves, right? Either our moms dropped us off, we rode our bikes, we walked up there. So if the movie was like G or PG, no problem. Here's some PG movies they have now. Moana. Monsters, Inc. Frozen is PG. Here's a PG movie I watched as a child. Jaws. Jaws was PG. Oh, I didn't go by myself. I went with my neighbor, Margie Hodges. I was 11. She was 9. Our mothers just dropped us off up at Beechwood Cinemas, right, with $5 and said, have a great afternoon. So we went into Beechwood Cinemas and we bought our popcorn and our Raisinets and our Junior Mints and our Cokes. It was summer and there was not many people in there. It was just kind of us, and we went halfway down and halfway across. And Margie said to me, well, what's this movie about? I said, I don't even know. I think it's something about going to the beach. Had we bothered to look at the movie poster on the way in there, we would have seen it say, the terrifying movie from the #1 terrifying bestseller, Over the Giant Shark. But we didn't look at the poster. No, our moms certainly didn't see the poster. They didn't even get out of the car. And in their defense, that back then PG-13 had not been invented yet. It wouldn't be invented until 1984. So I guess they thought it was okay for an 11-year-old and a 9-year-old to see Jaws by themselves. It was not okay. Okay, I was okay at the beginning of the film, like when the music first starts. I was okay. I was okay when pieces of Chrissy Watkins washed up on the beach. I was even okay when Alex Kittner got eaten in a spew of blood in a rubber raft. I was okay. But I began to not be okay when Richard Dreyfuss was scuba diving at night and he's under that boat and the disembodied head of Ben Gardner rolled out of that boat onto Richard Dreyfuss. I thought to myself, I may not should be here. This might not be okay for me. And then when the little crab crawled out of the eyeball socket of Ben Gardner's disembodied head, I jumped into the seat with Margie Hodges, where I remained the rest of the movie. Now, you might remember that the shark, you don't even see the shark until an hour and a half into that film. An hour and a half. So the music is what's scary and suspenseful, right? So I remember sticking my fingers in my ears and my thumbs in my eyeballs and just smashing. I'm amazed I have vision, quite honestly. So towards the end of the movie, you finally see the whole shark, and he's chewing up Quint as the boat is sinking, right? And I turned to Margie, I'm like, see, it's not even real. So the very end of the movie, the shark explodes. Right? Spoiler alert, 1975 movie, shark explodes. We jumped up out of our seats and our popcorn went everywhere. We dropped our Cokes. We were not cheering because Richard Dreyfuss and Roy Scheider had survived. We were cheering because we had survived. Back then, school made us stronger. School register, I'm going to show you this. I'm not giving you the finger, but I'm showing you this is a permanent callus from a big black pencil from Miss Joyce Green's first grade class when we learned cursive. Right? There it is, right there. Our pencil boxes were actual cigar boxes. No one cared. Nobody cared. Later on, we just got high as kites off of mimeograph paper. That was fun. Mrs. Faircloth would say, who wants to volunteer to go pick up the worksheets in the office? And I was like, me! Me! And you'd pick them up from the office and they're still wet and just all the way back. So good. Some of y'all sniff some paper, I can tell. Bunch of paper sniffers. Our school did not have a school nurse. We just had a secretary who, if you got sick or hurt, you just sort of sat over in the teacher's lounge while they were smoking. And then the secretary spent a long time trying to find your mother in the days before cell phones or answering machines. You could be there all day long. And mental health was not a thing at all. Nobody even knew what that was. And this was later on. I remember being in science class when the Space Shuttle Challenger exploded and everybody on board perished. My science teacher just turned off the television and went,